Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to today's video. We are celebrating 20,000 subscribers today and doing some questions and answers revolving intermittent fasting. So my name is Ryan Johnson, if you don't know, and I run Intermittent Fasting with Ryan. Over the last 2 years, I've lost 60 pounds, and I've been able to maintain that weight loss. And in this channel and on this channel, I share my experience with fasting, as well as my own journey to get in shape and stay healthy for the rest of my life. Now, I am no expert by any means, but I like to share my progress along the way and kind of let you know what works for me. The biggest thing that I have learned struggling with weight loss my whole life, my weight has gone up and down, is that a slow and steady approach has been the best thing for me to lose the weight and maintain it. Now, intermittent fasting has been a great tool, and if I could give you any one piece of advice, it would be start slow and steady with a mindset of finding what works for you for the rest of your life. Crash diets don't work. They only help you lose the weight temporarily, but if you don't build a sustainable habit that you're going to carry on for the rest of your life, the weight's just going to come back. So that's a little bit about me. Other than that, again, just celebrating 20,000 subscribers. YouTube has gone absolutely insane over the last month and a half. Last month, I was celebrating after 15, 16 months on YouTube. I was celebrating going from 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers in a month, which for me, that was insane because it took me a year and a half to get to 2,000 subscribers. So gained 1,000 in a month. And then over the last month have picked up another 20,000 subscribers. So for each and every person that's watching this video, just thank you. I appreciate everyone that watches these, and I like sharing the journey and hope to motivate and inspire you along the way as well. So with that being said, we're just going to jump right into the questions. I had people submit a lot of questions that weren't going to be able to make the live stream. So I'm going to start with some of those. And then if you're here on the live stream, just go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. And if you're catching this on replay, just leave questions in the comment box below, and I'll be sure to go back and answer each of those. Additionally, you can send me an email to ifwithryan@gmail.com. So with that being said, again, just thanks again, and let's go ahead and kind of get into some of these questions. The first one comes from Derek, and it's, do you feel protein intake is key to intermittent fasting success, meaning keeping you full over a longer period? So absolutely, protein is huge, has played a big role in my own intermittent fasting journey as far as the nutrition goes, and I think for weight loss and general health, or health overall, I think protein is important. Now, there are a few reasons for that. There's a lot of scientific reasons, but really I'll just get into some of the practical ones. I know for me personally, I want to build a muscular physique. I want to maintain muscle, and eating protein is important for that. It's important that you keep and build muscle while you're fasting, as well as it keeps you fuller for longer. So I know whenever I'm going to do a longer fast, and for me, a long fast is between like 18 and 22 hours. I go higher on the protein the day before, and that helps me to kind of stay full throughout. And also, I feel like it's helped me maintain my muscle. So while I don't track my macros and my calories anymore, I did for the first year. I counted every calorie. I didn't look at macros specifically, but I did always like to make sure that I'm eating high in protein. And if you watch any of my videos, you'll see I kind of prioritize proteins and meats in my diet. So protein definitely been helpful to me. Now we'll get into some of these questions that were sent in to me before we started the show, and it's, would you rather, this one was funny. It took me a second to realize they wanted me to answer this in the live stream. Would you rather spend 1 year in prison or wake up tomorrow and 3 years has passed? I would rather spend 1 year in prison, because I'd rather lose 1 year than 3 years, and at least I could do something during that time. So 1 year in prison versus wake up and 3 years has passed. Another one is, can I just ask, if you only eat one meal a day, surely you'll be nutritionally deficient in terms of the micronutrients. How do you make sure you get the correct amount of micronutrients? And for that, honestly, I don't track my micronutrients. I don't track my macros right now. Again, I try to eat enough protein, but I don't track that yet. And that goes into my philosophy of a stair-step approach to health and wellness. first, I just focus on the fasting. Then I try to get in my exercise and try to make sure that my calories are in line, because you do have to eat in a deficit to lose weight. But I am not at the point where I have been tracking my micronutrients. Now, with that being said, I've been doing this for 2 years, so I think here in the future I am going to start maybe looking at that, because even as I do some analyzing of my own eating patterns, I recognize that I don't eat enough greens and vegetables, so I may look at supplementing that in some way or another in the future. But as of right now, it's just not something that I track. So all right, so you're just eating your daily calories at once over a couple hours. I got this question. A lot of people see what I eat and they're like, well, why don't you just spread that out? And for me, that's why I do intermittent fasting, because again, you have to find what works for you. And what works for me is I would rather eat one 1,800 calorie meal than three 600 calorie meals, because I eat that 600 calories. And really, at the end of that, I don't feel satiated. I feel like I want to eat more. So what would happen for me is I would eat, 12 to 1,500 calories at a meal, but I would do that 3 times a day, eating at 3,600 calories every day, which is why I gained weight. So for me, it just works better to eat 1 or 2 larger meals throughout the day. Yes, technically it would be the same number of calories, but part of the reason why intermittent fasting works for me personally is once you make it through that 2 to 3 week adjustment period of going through the hunger pangs, then I'm not hungry as often. And when I do sit down, I can enjoy a larger meal. This one is, what you be eating, is it healthy? I probably don't have the healthiest diet there is. I don't claim to be the healthiest person, but I will say I'm trying to move in that direction, and I could be eating a lot worse foods. Now, is that the best answer in the world? Well, no, but I'm not trying to be the healthiest. I'm trying to be a little healthier today than I was yesterday. And 2 years from now, again, I hope to have a very clean diet, but I know that's going to be sustainable if and only if I get there over time, right? It's much different than if I were to eat a salad every night because I have to eat a salad, or, oh God, here comes another salad. But if I look forward to eating a salad, well, then that's something I'm going to maintain for my life. So I want to move to healthier foods. Do I eat the healthiest foods now? No. Am I going to? I think over time I will. You're only 35, you look 47. Well, thank you very much. I'm aging like a fine wine. No, I get this question a lot, and I don't know, I'm old. It's probably a lot of these gray hairs. I say, I did 2 deployments in Afghanistan, and I say some of the gray hairs were from getting shot at, but honestly, most of them is from raising 2 girls. So that has aged me a little bit. All right, hey, so what's the point in getting in all your calories in 1 meal instead of getting them in 3? Again, talked about this just a little bit ago. It helps me feel satiated. It helps me feel more full. And another benefit is they talk about you feel more energetic with intermittent fasting. And I will say that is absolutely something that I have experienced personally. I feel that mental focus when I'm fasting. For example, I'm fasting right now. I am at 17 and a half hours. I feel mentally clear. I don't feel hunger. That kind of has passed now that I've been doing this for so long. I like the way that I feel when I'm fasting. So again, that goes back into this whole, hey, we're building a sustainable lifestyle. And if you enjoy something, you're going to stick with it for the rest of your life, because we don't want to lose weight fast. We want to lose weight forever. And because I just feel good when I'm fasting, I'm able to keep doing it. So that's another reason why I enjoy eating 1 and 2 meals a day. Pushing that off until like later in the afternoon and in the evening time is I feel better in the morning when I got to get all my work done, when I'm working on YouTube on my days off here, when I go to work and have a lot to do. I'm able to focus when my body isn't digesting. So I couldn't explain the science behind it, but I can tell you, me personally, I just feel better when I'm fasting. And then we got a greetings from Switzerland, greetings from Florida. How are you doing? Thanks again for tuning in. I think every time I hear somebody say, they're watching me from Switzerland, or I had somebody from South Africa. I know I got a bunch of followers in the UK and some from Australia, which makes some of these live streams a little tough that they can't necessarily join in, but to know that people from around the world are watching, cheering me on, is definitely something that motivates me. So greetings from Florida. So I'm on the McDonald's. I'm on the McDonald's diet. Hey, man, I love some fast food. I think probably mine, and I haven't eaten it since I've been doing these what I eat in a day shorts. Is Whataburger. I love Whataburger and I love Culver's, but that also goes to my slow path to a healthier diet. Is if you look back, I have everything that I ate there was a 6-month period where I recorded everything that I ate. If you go back on the channel, there's a playlist, what I'm eating. You can go back and see everything that I ate over a 6-month period. And there's plenty of times in there that I was eating fast food. But that was a year and a half ago now, and I've kind of cut that out of my diet a little bit. So you can see over time, my diet is starting to clean up. But there's nothing wrong with McDonald's. As long as you know and are aware, the biggest problem with a McDonald's diet is not eating McDonald's. It's the guilt that you feel from eating McDonald's. And that's something that I'm learning on my journey is, man, the guilt I feel from eating bad does way more damage than the calories themselves. And that's something that if I could get to come through the screen to you is, you know what, if there is food that you enjoy, learn how to fit it into a healthy lifestyle. For me, that kind of looks like balance. So it's 70-30. I try to eat 70% good, 30% bad. But I also use intermittent fasting. I'll do longer fasts when I know I'm going to be eating a lot of food. But learning how to enjoy foods that you want without the guilt, man, if we could figure that out, there's nothing stopping us. But when it comes to McDonald's, I would say my absolute favorite is a triple cheeseburger, no onions, extra pickles. That's a good hamburger. And then we got hey Ryan, hey Facebook user, how are you? The way this works is Facebook doesn't get my permissions to show who's coming on these, so I don't know who you are, but I imagine you are in the group. Glad you're joining in, and I did create a Facebook group if you want to go a little deeper. It's intermittent fasting, weight loss, accountability, and encouragement. There's a link for that in the description of this video if you want to join me over in the Facebook group. Let's see what we got here. Greetings from Kuwait, bro. Love the channel. God bless you and your family. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have only been in Kuwait a few times, on my way to and from Afghanistan, stopped in Kuwait, but I know a lot of my friends in the Middle East are getting ready. I'm not sure if you, if you partake or not, but I know Ramadan is getting ready to come up, which is, a period of fasting for a lot of people. But hello from Florida again. I got a congratulations. Hey, thank you very much again. I'm blessed and just so excited that so many people are getting stuff out of this. I post these videos for fun and for my own accountability. But man, I just get so much encouragement from each and every one of you. So thank you for that. What part of Florida are you from? Hold on 1 second, let me get a sip of coffee. So we are in Jacksonville, Florida. So we are in Duval. If you know, you know. So we live in Jacksonville. I'm from Melbourne, Florida originally. Grew up in Melbourne, Palm Bay. Went to college at UCF in Orlando. Spent a summer as a lifeguard with Walt Disney at Blizzard Beach. Joined the Army from UCF. I went there on an ROTC scholarship, joined the Army, spent 7 years in the Army. 2 of those years I spent in Afghanistan. And then when Carrie and I decided to get out, we came to Jacksonville. We got some thumbs up from Andre. Andre, appreciate it, man. I know you. I see you commenting on every video, and I really appreciate that. So we got one. Hey, just got out of the Marines. Was wondering if you had any tips on starting this kind of diet. Hey, man. First off, thank you for your service. Semper Fi. I got a lot of friends that are Marines and were Marines. I was a Marine JROTC in high school. But thank you for your service. As far as starting the diet, my piece of advice. I'm home with Charlotte today. She was homesick. Hold on, I gotta open some gushers for her real quick. There you go. So my advice for getting started, if you go back and look at my first video that I posted, it's my stair-step approach to intermittent fasting. So if you go to my page and go videos and then sort by oldest, my stair-step approach is essentially this. The best piece of advice that I would give you is when you start, just focus on the fasting. Don't try to change your diet. Don't try to pick up a new exercise routine. Don't try to eat the healthiest foods. Don't try to drink 64 ounces of water every day. Don't try to get 8 hours of sleep. It's too much. Whenever we want to change and radically change our lives, we try to do a lot of radical change at the beginning. But what ends up happening is willpower is a limited resource, and you can't use your willpower to do all of those things. That's what creates burnout, causes burnout, and why these crash diets is a cycle of up and down. So I recommend you just start with the fasting. So what does that look like? You pick a day, let's call it today. You have your last meal at 8 p.m. tonight, and you just don't eat, don't consume anything but water or black coffee until noon tomorrow. Now, that is going to take some willpower, because in the first month, it's going to take your body time to adjust to missing breakfast. So every bit of willpower that you have, I want you to focus on just making it through your fast. It does take a little bit of grit. It does take a little bit of determination. But on the other side of that, at the end of a month, your body will have adjusted and you will stop being hungry for breakfast. Once you just focus on hitting the fast, and that becomes second nature, meaning you fast without even thinking about it. You're not hungry, you enjoy it, it's built into who you are. Then you can start looking at adding other healthy habits, things like exercise, diet. And just as a frame of reference, you have to start with the mindset of it's going to take you a while to build those habits. I'm a great example of that. I now have been intermittent fasting for 2 years, and I would say only in the last 3 months have I been focusing on my diet. Because for the first year, I was just focused on hitting my fast. And at about the month mark is when I started tracking calories just to make sure that I was in a deficit. I don't do that anymore because I have a pretty good idea of how many calories I eat, just because I tracked every calorie for a year. And then I did my fitness. Now, my fitness routine, I'm working out anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week, but I don't have to think about that anymore. It no longer takes me willpower to fast or work out. Now I'm using my willpower to try to eat a few more salads, to try to eat healthier and change the direction of my own health through healthy nutrition. So how do I recommend you start fasting? Just by fasting and fasting alone. Don't change your diet. Don't change anything else. Just focus on the fast for the first month. What's better, Blaze Pizza or Publix subs? Man, you're coming in hot with these questions. That's tough. I would say if you were to ask me 10 times what I wanted to eat, I'm probably more times I'm going to go with the Publix sub. Call it 6 out of 4 times I'm gonna go with Publix sub because I love the variety. I feel like that's a big old meal. Blaze Pizza is good, but more often than not, I feel like Blaze is a meal and not a day's worth of food. But if I get a Publix sub and get a 12-inch, that's a day's worth of food, especially the chicken tender sub. Man, you got me on camera now. All right, that was tough. All right, let's see. What foods would you recommend for breaking the fast? So this is one where, again, if you follow me, I don't get big into the science. I'm all about progress over perfection. And what foods to break the fast with is a very common question for anybody that's getting into fasting. And I would say this, I always recommend, and I personally do, like proteins or fats to break my fast. I have found that does a few things. One, if I break my fast with a fat or a protein, I do have that sensation of satiety. I feel more full, so I'm less likely to overeat during my eating window. But at the same time, then the realistic part of my brain, or the part that tells you that slow progress is better than nothing, is don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If you want to break your fast with carbs or whatever the case is, don't get too caught up in chasing perfection to let that be a stumbling block. Meaning, if you break your fast with carbs, don't feel like your fast wasn't worthwhile, because that's not how any of this works. But with that being said, I tend to break my fast usually with a protein or a fat. And I recommend that you try and see what works best for you. I personally know if I start off when eating in carbs, I usually end up eating more through my eating window. So I personally do fats or proteins. Congrats on the 20K. Hey, thank you very much. Again, I think right now it's at 23,000. It's absolutely crazy. And honestly, the thing that I love the most is the amount of comments that say, hey, I appreciate you because you're real, you're showing a real perspective. And, I want to kind of keep showing that. That's kind of the idea, is sharing my own journey with this. Do I want to be in great physical shape? Absolutely. But I want to be realistic, and I know that it's going to take time, and I enjoy sharing the process. Derek, fasting makes you feel great. It really does, man. There's times where I do feel that mental clarity from fasting. All right, working in the meat department, I'm sure you do, but do you have a favorite cut of steak? Yeah, I mean, it's probably a standard answer, I'm sure, across, but it's the ribeye. I love a ribeye. It's tender, it's flavorful. My favorite is to butter baste it in a cast iron with some rosemary, thyme, and garlic. I'm actually, oh no, I'm doing corned beef tonight because we had some left over. The next time I cook steaks, I'm doing a butter basted ribeye in the cast iron. You'll be seeing a video of that next time I do one. But that's probably my favorite. And as far as bone in or boneless goes, I haven't done a side-by-side comparison, and honestly, I prefer the bone in because it's cheaper. So bone in ribeye is my go-to steak. When I'm trying to trim down or watch my calories, I'll go with a strip, just because it is a little leaner. But I love a ribeye. I love Culver's. Oh, Culver's is so good. They actually just built one down the street from us, so that's dangerous for me. My favorite is their double mushroom and Swiss. That thing is so good. But talking about like how to eat fast food and do it healthy and sustainably, or however you want to call it, one of the things that I do find myself doing, and I haven't done this in 2 years, is I could probably count on 1 or 2 hands the number of times I've eaten French fries in the last 2 years. Because I know French fries are generally a food, one, that I cannot stop eating, and 2, it doesn't do much for you in the way of helping your weight. It's carbs and it's fried. You can overeat on them so easily. So I've cut out French fries. Now, when I go to Culver's, I will get 2 double mushroom and Swiss burgers. Is it the same or more calories than a double mushroom and Swiss burger with the French fries? Probably, but it's more protein too. So not all calories are created equal. So I love Culver's. So good. Have you relaxed more since you've lost the weight? Absolutely. I think one of the things that I kind of am doing is I'm just kind of trying to structure it more. So one of the things that I'm working on right now is I still probably have about 25 pounds that I'm trying to lose. I'm trying to get into those 190s mark. I was like 216 this morning. But one of the things that I am trying to focus on is structuring kind of my relaxed eating. So one of the things I'm playing around with right now is I like desserts. I'm trying to do desserts more on the weekends. So just eat a little cleaner during the week, still fasting throughout. But I think by telling myself, this weekend I'm going to have cake and I'm going to enjoy it, I think has allowed me to legitimately enjoy the foods that would otherwise be off limits. Hello from Seattle. Hey, what's going on, Megan? I've been to Seattle a few times. My first duty station in the Army, I went TDY, which is temporary duty, to Fort Lewis, Washington. I had a cousin that lived down in Seattle. It's I like the Pacific Northwest. It's a good time. Seattle's a good time. Went to, don't tell me, it's not just Starbucks is there. the fish market. But Seattle's a good time. And then my little brother and I actually, when I left Fort Lewis, we went and we hiked up to the base camp there on Rainier. But beautiful, beautiful out there. So how do you fit in? How do you fit in those big meals while working? I work 12 to 8:30 from home and only a 30-minute lunch, not much time. So this is one of the things that I have found. I generally, when I'm working like a closing shift, which I do probably 2 days a week, which a closing shift for me is from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., I will do my big meal from like 11 to 12:30 before I go to work. But that's also over time. I know if I eat a meal that is high in fats and proteins, I'm not going to feel sluggish later in the day. So I do that. And then if I'm working a regular shift, so like 8 to 5, that's generally where I will fast until 5 p.m. Then I can eat a big meal with carbs and pizza and everything. And if I feel sluggish afterwards, it doesn't matter because I'm going to sleep. But I would say if I was working a 12 to 8:30 shift, and I'm just spitballing here, if you work from home, maybe you prep your meals before you start working. But I would play around, see what works for you, but maybe split your meals up half and half. So eat half your calories on your lunch break and the other half when you get off. But that would also mean that you're regularly not breaking your fast until what I'm assuming is your lunch break. Let's call it 4 o'clock. So depending on when you go to sleep, because you don't want to eat right before bed, say you eat at 9 o'clock at night. Now, if you're doing an 18-hour fast, that means you can't eat until 3 the next day anyways, but it's fine because you're regularly not eating until 4. But the best thing that I would do, the piece of advice, is try different methods and see what works best for you. What the other thing that may work, similar to when I work a closing shift, maybe you eat a majority of your calories by 4 p.m., meaning you eat a big breakfast at 10 and then maybe something small on your lunch break at 4. The downside to that is you've stopped eating at 4. So if you do dinner with your family, for me, that wouldn't work because I want to have meals with my family. But on nights I work 1 to 10, it doesn't matter if I stop eating at 4 p.m. because by the time I get home, everyone's asleep. But you could play around with that too. Maybe eat at 10 and 4 and then don't eat again until the following day at 10. Come do Ramadan with us. I've had a few people recommend that. I would say I don't know if I would want to eat breakfast in the morning. Maybe not eating until the sun goes down at night. Maybe I could be on board with that, but I don't know that I would want to eat breakfast in the morning. The other thing that's tough is not consuming the liquids. But thanks again for joining, and I appreciate it. Proud of your progress. Keeps crushing it. Hey, thank you very much again. Slow and steady wins the race. I appreciate the support from each and everybody on here. We got one of this one. Hey, I think you're looking younger each day. I'm so happy for you. I have a question. Do you ever feel really thirsty when you're fasting? I don't, but now, again, when I fast, I drink water. I drink coffee. I would say a majority of my water comes in the form of coffee. I'm drinking coffee now, and because I didn't know how long the live stream was going to go, I have a whole pot that I brought over. So that's where a majority of my water comes from. Is it the healthiest thing? Probably not. But is it what I'm really doing? Yes. I haven't tracked my water intake. I haven't done that since I've started. Again, it's probably one of those things that every health influencer would tell you, get a jug and drink 64 ounces of water a day. With that being said, I did buy a jug a few weeks ago because I want to maybe start tracking my water intake, but really I just drink when I'm thirsty. There's a decent amount of people out there that will tell you you don't need 8 ounces or you don't need 8-ounce glasses of water a day or 10 or whatever the recommended number is. There's no science to back that up. Just drink when you're thirsty. Your body has a pretty good way of telling you when it's time to take water. Because I was in the Army and we always talked about dehydration, I am always conscious to watch the color of my urine. As crazy as it sounds, or inappropriate, whatever you want to call it. I do keep an eye on the color of my urine, and if it ever goes dark, I do think even if I don't feel thirsty, I will increase my water intake. But I really just track the color of my urine and drink whenever I'm thirsty. I don't have a water goal that I personally try to hit. You went to Afghanistan. That's sick. My parents are from there. I've never been there. Yeah, so I spent 2 years in Afghanistan. I spent my first deployment in Host, which is on the eastern side of Afghanistan, and my second deployment, I was stationed out of Bagram, but we were the theater reserve force. So our job was to go to any hotspots all over the country and provide backup and support. So my second deployment, I was stationed out of Bagram, which is near the capital of Kabul, but I got to go and see all parts of Afghanistan. It was a great experience. I loved the people of Afghanistan. It was a good time, kind of looking back on it, good and bad. But yeah, I enjoyed what I could of Afghanistan. And from Kansas City, Missouri, my mom just got back from a trip to Florida. Well, I bet that was awesome. We're the best we're the best state in the country. No, I love Florida. My dad was actually in the Army. He retired when I was in the second grade. So I was born in Germany, lived in Georgia, lived in Texas, but I've been in Florida since I was in the second grade. So I claim it as my home state. Derek, I can remember when you were just a Facebook guy on intermittent fasting for beginners. Now look at you. That's funny. Derek's one of my OG supporters, been with me from the beginning, and I really appreciate that, man. I feel a little bad because I can't answer every comment on YouTube anymore. I mean, it's just nuts. Like literally the channel gets like 400,000 views a day, and I'm getting hundreds of comments every day. I try to spend an hour a day answering comments. So I apologize if I don't get to yours. If you ever want to reach out again, shoot me an email with a question, or just say, hey, below. I respond to every one of those. But as far as the comments go, I can't reply to them all anymore. And I'm almost getting to the point that I don't even see them all anymore. Like the notifications on my YouTube comments is like crazy. But for a lot of you that comment on multiple videos, I do see a lot of those, and thanks again. Again, I appreciate that support. How do you keep your teeth so white? They are turning brown. I need to whiten them. Probably the only reason my teeth are white is because I didn't start drinking coffee until I started fasting. Prior to that, I'm 35 years old right now. So I've been fasting since I was 33. And prior to that, I just didn't drink a lot of coffee. I hardly ever had coffee. So if my teeth are white now, it's only because I went 30-something years without drinking coffee, but I can tell they are getting noticeably darker. So I'm gonna have to whiten them at some point in the future. All right, let's see. Just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate your videos. Keep up the great work. Will do. And let me know if there's videos you want to see. I know one of the requests that I get a lot is for longer form, like what I eat in a day, what I eat in a week style vlogs. And I'm going to level with all of you. I mean, I would love to do this YouTube thing full time. That is probably years off right now because I've got a family to support. So right now I just do it as a hobby. And honestly, I have been doing the short videos because they're easier to produce. I mean, I'm eating anyways, so it's easy for me to just get my phone out and kind of record what I'm eating. And each one of those probably takes me 30 to 40 minutes a day to kind of edit, which YouTube is just kind of my hobby right now. So I'd like to think I'm not taking away from family time too much. Oh, it's time to open a cheese stick. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi! I hope you have a great day.
Hold on one sec. You're going to see me fumble with a cheese stick live. I had scissors handy though. Oh gosh.
Once we went to Harry Potter land and the hat called me Gryffindor.
Hufflepuff. She's a Hufflepuff. Here you go. Thank you, baby. All right, lost my train of thought. Oh, I would love to do this YouTube thing full time. That's probably a few years off. So it takes me 30, 40 minutes to edit those shorts and then shoot them. So I spend 35 minutes a day, 35, 40 minutes a day on YouTube. but that's just my hobby. So the longer videos, they take considerably more time, and I'm working 5 days a week. Carrie is working. So honestly, my days off, like today is a day off of work. That's when I do a lot of my YouTube stuff. So if I'm filming a video or doing a live stream, I've got to do that on my day off. And I am looking into how I can produce more and better long form content. Like I just did the video going over the Murph workout that I'm doing. Again, that one was easy to shoot because I just kind of shot it while I was doing my workout. But not until I start making any sort of money off of this can I reinvest that money to, honestly, I'm probably going to hire a videographer because I can't stop working. I don't have time to shoot the stuff. So I may have somebody like follow me for a day and do, hey, here's everything I ate today. But I didn't say long response to this, but thank you. I appreciate that you all like the videos. I'm going to keep producing them. I'm going to keep trying to make them better, but thanks again. I love your down-to-earth approach to vids. How do you feel about processed foods versus trying to consume whole foods? I absolutely want to eat just whole foods, and I think that's the goal. But if I give you any piece of advice again, is take a long-term approach. That has been one of my keys to success, is I have changed my mindset of I want to get healthy in 90 days to I want to be healthy for the rest of my life. So for me, what that looks like is, hey, I would love nothing more than to be eating whole foods, grass-fed beef, nothing processed. But until I can get more time in my life and really want to do it, like enjoy it, it's going to take me years to get there. So when it comes to processed foods, I say don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Or actually, Voltaire said that, but don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I would love to move to whole foods, and I think that's kind of the goal, but I'm trying to take my time to get there. That way it's also sustainable and I can do it for the rest of my life. I tend to hyperfixate a lot on whole foods. Past eating disorder reoccurring. But it's refreshing seeing how you thrive on just consuming foods good for you instead of freaking out over chemicals. Yeah, again, sometimes there's this saying, it's called don't major in the minors. If most of what I'm doing is good, then it doesn't matter what that little bit is. And I try to be healthy by fasting. That's the big thing that I do. And I try not to feel guilt over some of those things that aren't necessarily the best. How do you get over the mental aspect of fasting when you were first starting intermittent fasting? A little bit of that is, I'm not going to lie, some of that is grit and determination. There are some physical things you can do to help. There's drinking water, there's staying busy. I'll give you a great example. The days that I am off of work, like today, is some of the times that I struggle the most with fasting. And some of that is out of boredom, right? What do we do when we get bored? We like to eat to fill that time. So I was bored today because I wasn't at work, and because I'm home with Charlotte. Normally what I would have done this morning is I would have went and got a workout in. I probably would have tried to film a video or two, and staying busy like that helps me and keep my mind off of food. But because I couldn't film a video, couldn't go and work out, I was just hanging out around the house, and I was like, I want to start eating. The same goes when I started fasting. There is a little bit of mental toughness that I need to endure, but that's also why I don't restrict what I eat. So I don't think I need to make it through this fast and I need to eat a salad. No, I'm going to allow myself to eat whatever I want. But some of the physical things you can do is drinking water, staying active, eating a big protein meal as your last meal before you start your fast. But the good news is, honestly, man, once you make it through those first 2 or 3 weeks, just try to be as diligent and as tough as you can to make it through those first 2 or 3 weeks, because after that, there is a hormone in your body called ghrelin that your body releases to signal you to eat. Your body stops producing it at the same times. If you eat at 8 o'clock every morning, well, just like with Pavlov and the dogs, every time he rung the bell, or before he rang the bell, the dogs started salivating. You are no different in the way the times that you eat. When you eat at 8 o'clock every morning, 8:10 comes around and you haven't eaten yet, your body's like, where's the food? Where's the food? The good news is you can reset that through a little bit of hunger pangs. But once you get on the other side of that 2 or 3 weeks, you stop becoming hungry as often. I've been obsessed with your videos recently. I appreciate how open, honest, and realistic your videos are. Thank you for sharing. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Again, I think kind of when I started this whole YouTube thing, I had ideas of being like Thomas DeLauer, like sharing all this great information about intermittent fasting. But I'm realizing more and more that I think if I have a strength, it is, I'm just going to share what I'm doing. And if I inspire you to do anything, it's not going to be to do exactly what I'm doing, but understand my thought process of doing my own evaluation of what's going to work for me and what's going to work long term, and being okay with that. So, man, if I could help 100 people get off of yo-yo diets, I think that would just be awesome. Because diet and nutrition culture is crazy. Like, that's the other reason that intermittent fasting doesn't get as much support, is because there's nothing to buy with it. There's no supplements. Like, I haven't taken supplements yet. With that being said, I think I may start here in the near future, because I do want to pack on some muscle, so I may play around with that. But man, if I could just help 100 people leave behind diet culture, I think that would be good. And the guilt we feel from calories does way more damage than the calories themselves. Ooh, New York strip greater than the ribeye. Far Rock says I made the wrong call on my favorite steak. How do you cook your New York strip? Let me know. Tips for Army basic training. Man, honestly, my dad passed away 5 years ago. And I think that's probably one of the things that kind of led me into getting depressed after I got out of the Army. My dad was my hero for sure. But my dad said to me when I was thinking about going into the Army, and it's kind of been one of those things that just kind of stays with me, is I was asking him a lot of questions, and he said, if you're thinking about being average and joining the Army, then don't even join. So I would say, what does that actually look like? Man, just give it everything you have. Don't leave it all on the field, leave it all in the field. Give it everything you have. Listen. It's way more mental than it is physical. So Caroline and I will go running every now and again. She's my 7-year-old, about to be 8 next week. And I tell her whenever we go for a jog, jogging is all about telling yourself I can do it. If you tell yourself you can do it, you can. And if you tell yourself you can't, the same is also true. So when it comes to basic training, there's nothing that you can't do. Just keep a good mental attitude. Any tips for someone who wants to start their own food-based channel? I feel very embarrassed right now. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a mistype. Oh, wait, hold on. The next comment, channel. I was supposed to be food-based channel. Any tips for someone who wants to start their own food-based channel? Yes. So, like with intermittent fasting, YouTube has been a journey. I've learned a lot. Again, feel free to get with me offline. I can give you kind of some more specifics. And I know who you are. Been following me for a while, and again, I appreciate the support on every video. But like with intermittent fasting, go slow and steady. I have been on YouTube now for 18 months. And again, in the last 2 months, it's been absolutely crazy. But there was plenty of times over the last year and a half where I was making videos for nobody. But what that did is just not the art of making videos, the muscle of making videos and producing videos builds over time. So I've got 250 videos on the channel, and my first videos are my worst videos. So I'm hoping they get slowly better over time. So my suggestion would be stay in one niche. So if you're going to talk about food, just talk about food. I was also a magician, which none of you may know. People tell me all the time, like, oh, you should do magic on your channel. The reason I don't do magic on my channel is my channel is about intermittent fasting and health. So if you want to do a food-based channel, just have all your videos be in the same vein. So don't do that and say, homeschooling your kids, just as an example, and just start posting videos, because in the muscle of posting videos, you will get better at it, and over time that will build up, and take a long-term approach to YouTube, just like you would with your health. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that was helpful to you. Congrats on 23K. Hey, thank you very much again. I appreciate each and every person. Keep telling myself that, you know, each one of these numbers is not just a number on the screen, but there's a person behind every subscriber count, and behind every comment there's a person on the other side of the screen. So thank you. What is your opinion on the Afghanistan withdrawal this summer? Man, you're going to put me on. All right. I have a public forum. I'm not qualified to speak on this. I will say this. Having been there, it is my feeling that we have given the people of Afghanistan the training and the support they need to defend and do whatever they're going to do with their own country. If they choose not to, for whatever reason, that's a decision that they have to make. I don't feel like we could stay there forever. I don't want our country to be any less safe, but I feel like they had enough training and support. The ball's in their court. Do you fast 7 days a week? Most of the time, yeah. I would say 80% of the time I'm doing like an 18-hour fast. And part of that is because I'm still trying to lose weight. Maybe when I get to my maintenance weight, I'll do 16 hours will be kind of the average. And I do that for two reasons. The main reason is because I feel better when I'm fasting. So, which is probably why I'm going to continue to fast even when I get to my maintenance weight. But as far as fasting 7 days a week go, I fast every day that I feel up to it. With that being said, there's probably about once every 10 days I won't fast. I'll wake up, I'll be super hungry, I'll want to have French toast with the girls on the weekend, something like that. For me, that's about once every week and a half. Again, that goes back to the whole, I don't feel guilt on days that I don't fast. It is life. I try to understand it, but try not to feel guilt with it. But I do fast 7 days a week. I would say on average, that is true. How much money do you make on YouTube videos? So I have been doing YouTube now for 18 months. And in those 18 months, I have made $400. So 250 videos for time that it takes to shoot, edit, everything. If you counted it as, call it 4 hours of video, which some of these shorts don't take me as long, but I don't get paid on the shorts. I get paid for ads that run on the long videos, which of those there's like 120. Each of those probably takes me 10 hours to shoot, film, and everything. You know, I'm making cents an hour. But yes, I've made $400 in the last 18 months on YouTube. So I didn't get monetized until last May because you have to have 1,000 subscribers and like people have to watch your content for 4,000 hours. So I didn't get monetized until May, and I was making, on average, it was like, it picked up last month when the subscribers started to shoot up. So last month I made like $50, but on average I was making like $35 a month on YouTube. So when you look at the 10 to 15 hours a week I spend on it, it's not worth it. It's crazy. You and Derek talk like you guys have known each other forever. We're going to have to make a trip down and meet you. Hey, thank you very much, Becca. I really appreciate that. Now, I have a terrible memory, so I always have to ask Derek where he lives because I always forget. But there's absolutely a time where I need to get out and see Derek, maybe when I'm doing YouTube full times and they're paying my bills and can pay to fly me around the country to do stuff. I'll come up and see Derek, but I look forward to that. Down 52.5 pounds right now. I don't know who this is because Facebook doesn't let me see, but whoever you are, congratulations. After this video is over, I'll be able to go into the Facebook group and see who this was, but congratulations. That's awesome. Again, if you want to join the Facebook group, there's a link in the description of this video. It's intermittent fasting, weight loss and accountability and encouragement. We just encourage one another. I run some challenges in there every once in a while. Like we did an OMAD challenge a few weeks ago where we all tried to do OMAD for 5 days, just like a 22-hour fast for 5 days straight. Just, again, a little more accountability and encouragement. Congrats on your channel growth. How do you deal with dumb comments on your videos? Honestly, I try to remember that there's a person behind every one of those comments. And actually, I posted a video yesterday replying to one of those comments, and I actually took the video down because the commenter reached out to me. I think it may have been a kid, so I feel a little bad about that. But when people have mean and hurtful comments, honestly, thankfully I'm older now. I just let that stuff roll right off my shoulder, because I do know that behind most mean comments, honestly, is an insecure person. So I feel more empathy towards a lot of those people than anything. And every once in a while, when I get some of the comments, I try to make joke videos out of them. Not to be hurtful, I'm going to start removing the names of the commenters, because apparently people actually went after that kid. And I do feel bad for that. I don't encourage or condone that in any way. But I'm going to keep making response videos whenever they're funny or strike me, only because I enjoy it so much. Like today's video I posted, somebody, now the person was lighthearted when they said it. They're like, do we have to see you eat avocados and tahini? And apparently I'm saying one of those words wrong, because people comment that I say I'm wrong. Avocado and tahini in every video. Do we have to see that? But they put LOL at the end, so I think they were joking. So my joke response video, those are just fun. So as far as the dumb comments go, man, I just feel like every hater I get is one step closer to me actually making it. So what I'm talking about, I'm fighting back. I'm not fighting back against like the whole Instagram influencer culture of you have to do everything perfect, because it's that kind of mindset that have screwed so many of us, myself included, right? There's so many times where I've told myself, man, you are a failure because I ate off plan, or because I put on weight, or I ate an entire thing of Oreos. No, binging is not good, but the more I tell myself I'm a failure because of it, that just doesn't help. So as far as you all, if you see somebody comment something hurtful in the video, my recommendation is I always try to leave a funny reply. Like if someone's like, oh, why are you taking fitness advice from a fat old white dude? I'm always like, this guy gets it. I have no idea why anyone would take fitness advice from me. Man, I'm glad I brewed a pot of coffee, because I think I'm going to try to answer every one of these. And I just scrolled down and there are a ton of comments. So again, if you're joining me on the live stream, thank you. And if you're crazy enough to watch this on the replay, thank you a million times more. I think we're at 52 minutes. This might be a 2-hour live stream. We'll see. But again, thank you for joining me here, and thank you. But I'm going to get to all of these comments, and there's a crazy number of them. So, all right, when doing one meal a day, should I eat a lot when eating that meal? So I would say you try, depending on what your weight loss goals are. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to eat a little less than what is your requirement. If you're trying to gain weight, you need to eat more. If you're trying to maintain, you need to eat at least what you require. Because one of the things that I learned through diet culture is when I was doing the 6 meals a day and cutting and counting everything and cutting my calories to lose weight, I got to a point where I was eating like 1,500 calories a day and being very active, which is nothing. So if you go too low in calories, your body adjusts to that. And eventually you're going to have to eat fewer and fewer calories, to where you're going to have to eat like, again, 1,400 to 1,600 calories to lose weight, which is just a tiny amount of calories, which is one of the reasons that I kind of eat as much as I do, because I want my metabolism to stay high. So when eating one meal a day, I do try to make sure I'm getting in enough calories. The video that's popping off right now, it's got like 1.5 million views, is the one where I'm eating 6 eggs with cheese, half a pound of bacon, and 2.5 avocados. And I say in the video, I'm going to eat 2.5 avocados because I want to get enough calories in. Those are like 200 a pop, because I don't want to go too low on my calories. This isn't about calorie restriction. So I do try to make sure I get in enough calories. You don't want to make yourself uncomfortable, but that's where I also will eat higher in fats on the days where I'm doing one meal a day. It's because fats are high in calories. According to Charles Barkley, Publix is his favorite spot to shop at. Started intermittent fast 18.6 and was inspired by your videos and episodes. Hey, thank you very much, Alan. I really appreciate that. Publix, man. So part of the reason, if you don't know, prior to Publix, I was working with a company and was actually in a pretty good job, making good money. And I took a stupid step back in my own salary for my own mental health and physical health, right? So, but the reason that I chose to go to Publix was because I always enjoyed shopping there as a customer. I appreciate them as a company. Their values are aligned with my own. So I actually pursued a job with Publix because of their great customer service. Now I'm hoping to grow a career at Publix, hoping to get into management and kind of earn back some of what was lost. But honestly, that step into Publix was good for my mental health as well, which is part of the reason I was putting on weight. Is I was in a job that paid me well, but that just wreaked havoc on my my happiness. I'm so excited your channel is growing. People are tired of being sick and looking for ways to get healthy. Absolutely. I mean, if we could just figure out how to be healthy for the rest of our lives, and the key to that is slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Love your channel. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. All right, it's overwhelming. What's on the internet? You keep IF realistic. Thank you very much. That's another thing. If you're just getting into intermittent fasting, I recommend you look into it. There's a lot of great videos out there, but don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't let the intermittent fasting police tell you you have to do it perfectly. Am I going to be doing it perfectly 2 years from now? Probably. You're probably going to see me breaking my fast with bone broth. I'm going to be eating nothing but whole foods. I'm going to be in great physical shape. But the other thing that I never want you to forget, and if you're watching this video now, if you're watching on the replay, we're 56 minutes in now, so I hate that I'm giving you this nugget so late into the live stream, but something that you need to remember, especially because there's so many people that are joining the channel right now, some people are seeing me for the first time, is don't compare your beginnings to somebody else's middle. I don't ever want somebody to see that I've lost 60 pounds and I'm doing all this stuff to feel like you need to do that too, because I'm now 2 years into this. So if you're on your own journey, I want you to come here and seek encouragement and support, but don't feel like you need to do everything that the perfect people are doing, because even the people that are doing it perfectly, odds are they didn't start out that way. So don't compare your beginnings to somebody else's middle. I used to do OMAD. So I do OMAD 1 meal a day. On average, I'm doing it 2 to 3 days a week. Most of the time, it's when I'm working a closing shift, just because it fits better into my schedule. And I also use OMAD to manage my overall calories. So when we had vacation coming up, I did 5 days straight of OMAD just to make sure that I was in a deficit going into the vacation. So I use OMAD when it fits my schedule and to make sure that I am remaining in a caloric deficit, because you do have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight. So for me, what works best is if I want to make sure that I eat less calories than I consume, if I consume less calories than I use, one way for me to do that is to eat one 2,000 calorie meal, because then I can feel full, feel satiated. But because I needed 2,300 calories in a day, I was still able to lose fat. So I mix OMAD in. I don't do it every day. Do you follow any caloric or macronutrient goal, or is it just whatever in a certain time frame? I try to get a lot of protein in. I don't track it, so I couldn't tell you how many grams I get. I just try to think, do I feel like I had enough protein, right? If I didn't have a meal that was focused on protein in a day, for that day, I probably didn't hit it. So the following day, I try to make sure, be more cognizant of it. As far as calorie or macronutrient goal, I haven't tracked it in the last year. So I've been doing this for 2 years now. The first year I tracked everything. I haven't been doing that because I know I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. Therefore, again, whatever we want to do forever, we need to kind of do now. I don't want to double talk, but I do recommend people track calories after they've been fasting for a month or two. Focus on that. Then track your calories just so you have an idea. But no, I'm not tracking it now. I just try to hit protein. I try to hit that high. I may start tracking my macros as I get closer and closer to my goal weight. And that is simply, the closer you get to your goal weight, it takes a bigger change to see a smaller result. Meaning, if you were severely overweight, you can make a small change and you'll see a lot of weight loss. But as you get closer to your goal, you're going to need to make more changes to see less of a result, only because there's less to lose. So as I get closer to my goal weight, I may start playing with my macronutrients. I'm not there yet, and I will be sure to keep you updated when I move to that point. Do you have a website or a video to start with for absolute beginners? I have a few videos that say start here. I would say for an absolute beginner, go to my videos and sort by oldest, and it's like my slow and steady approach to intermittent fasting. Absolutely start with that video. That's kind of my overall approach. And then I have probably 2 or 3 that I've done. When this is over, CC Wilson, shoot me an email to this email address and I'll reply back to it with a few videos to get you started. I don't have a website or anything. Again, I'm just doing this as a part-time hobby. I would love to, but until I have the time and space to do that. But I'll keep putting out videos, and I've got a few that I can send you to. Oh, it was channel. I'm pretty sure you work at the Publix I shop at. Get out of here. You in Jacksonville? If I work at your Publix, come up and say hi to me. I said I've been waiting for somebody at work to come and be like, "Are you intermittent fasting with Ryan?" When that happens, when somebody recognizes me, now I'm not going to. Don't get too close to my family. I'm protective there. But if you see me at work, come and get a picture with me because you're going in a YouTube video. I'm going to be like, "It happened." Thank you so much. Absolutely. Have you ever tried DDP yoga? You should try it. It's worth it. I have the same dieting history. IF is the only thing that works for me. I don't know what DDP, it's Diamond Dallas Page, isn't it? I've seen that video of the guy that's lost a bunch of weight. I did yoga a few times when I was in Afghanistan. When I was on Bagram, my first deployment, I was on a little cop. We were like 1.5 miles from Pakistan, like on this tiny little, smaller than a football field, like taking rockets and mortars every other day. But my second deployment, I was on Bagram, and we had gyms, and they did yoga classes. I actually taught a spin class in my spare time, my second deployment. But I did yoga over there a few times. I would like to do yoga more. At this point, I don't have the time to fit it into my life. Intermittent fasting is simply periods of going without food or calories, generally considered between 16 and 22 hours. So it's as simple as this. After you're done eating dinner at night, you just don't consume any more calories until lunch the next day, in its most basic term. Now, there's a lot of health benefits that come along with intermittent fasting. Oh, hold on one sec. Yes, baby. I need you to come here. So hold on one second. What's up, babe? Close the refrigerator door, please. Sorry about that brief interruption. Had to help a little one wipe. All right, so it is simply skipping breakfast, going without food for 16 to 22 hours. There are health benefits associated with it, but as far as weight loss goes, hold on one second. I got a crying baby. What's up, baby? Sorry about that. Her pants were stuck around her ankles. Yeah, so there's a lot of health benefits associated with it. As far as weight loss goes, one of the main reasons it works is it's a way to manage your caloric deficit. So if you're eating less meals throughout the day, generally you are consuming less calories and you are losing weight. What gets you back on track? IF when you fall off the path. Man, this is a great question that honestly, I could probably do a whole video on this, and I need to at some point, because this was me this last Christmas holiday season. I had kind of gotten off track and put on some weight. I went from 265 down to 205, and then through the holiday season, honestly put back like 35 pounds on. A part of that was during that job change that I was talking about, that period of stress and not having insurance made me overeat and not fast as often. I think what I'm going to say is going to be easier said than done. Is you just kind of got to leave the past in the past. Don't think about how far you've come and the fact that you've fallen off track, because that kind of thinking isn't going to help you. Just think, I'm just going to start again right now, because falling and learning about that is part of this whole process of life and everything. So I know what I just said is way easier said than done. So I don't know how you do it, but essentially what you have to do is you just have to leave the past in the past and move forward. So I started meal prep videos about 2 months ago, and they only have 28 subscribers. What's your secret? Shoot me an email after this. I'll check your channel out and then give you some more in-depth updates and critiques. Part of that is you just kind of keep posting videos and make each video a little better. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was answering questions. I just got a little behind. Give you a shout out. Again, shoot me all your stuff in a video. And if you're watching the live stream, check out Kevin Bush's channel. Follow, go check out his stuff. And if you want to see anything out of him, be sure to let him know in the comments of his videos, because taking feedback from your subscribers or your viewers is absolutely important. You need to do more theme park videos. Oh man, I would love to do more theme park videos. If anybody knows anybody at a theme park, get me a sponsorship. I would love to go and do everything I eat in a day at the parks. Until that point, I can't afford it. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Oh, no worries. Thank you. All right. My daughter would like to know the best running shoe brand in your opinion. I'm not a, well, okay, I ran in the Army, but only because they made me. I was always a fan of ASICs. Calorie restriction versus intermittent fasting. Oh, this is a good question. Calorie restriction versus intermittent fasting. The reality is every diet out there will work. The one that's going to work best is the one that you can do long term. I'm a huge fan of intermittent fasting. It's what I advocate for. It's not necessarily the best for everybody. So when it comes to calorie restriction versus intermittent fasting versus keto versus Atkins versus Weight Watchers, they all have their merits, and any nutrition eating plan out there is going to help you lose weight if you follow it to the T. But the thing that you should be looking for, my opinion, is when deciding on an eating style or whatever the case may be, is which one can you do for life? Because only when you do it for life and enjoy it are you going to be able to do it day in and day out. And being able to do it day in and day out is the real secret to success. They all work. The hard part, and this is why you have to take a long-term approach, sometimes you have to be willing to try different ones to see what works for you. All right, I've been fasting for over 2 years. I've gone from 385 to 225. My goal is 190 to 200. All right, I've been fasting for 2 years. Gone from 385 to 225. My goal is 190 to 200. In 2 years, I had my first slip. I binged for a week and went up to 245. I'm back down to 231. You have to move on. Absolutely. Congratulations, first and foremost, for already accomplishing. And you were in a tough spot. I've been there before. Is when you lose a lot of weight and you put it back on. Sometimes that can get into this vicious cycle of you get down on yourself of how did you let yourself slip? And it's just that whole mental cycle can be damaging in and of itself. So you just got to leave the past in the past. Just getting into fasting. Love the channel. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thankful for everybody that's joining it. Any thoughts on migraines while fasting? I personally haven't experienced it, but in a lot of the fasting communities that I am in, one of the things that I hear is best for headaches and migraines is your salt intake. So maybe increase your salt intake. I'm not a health professional. I'm not a doctor. Don't take medical advice from me. If you have high blood pressure, again, talk to your doctor. Headaches is not something I have experienced, but I will also say that I heavily salt my food. Whether there's a correlation there or not, I don't know. I also did my blood pressure the other day because people tell me that I'm not healthy. I decided to do a video of me getting my blood pressure taken, and it was 117/20. So my blood pressure is okay, even doing a lot of salt. How are your poops? I think they're normal. People say that all the time too. I think they're normal. Tips to start fasting. Just focus on the fast and the fast alone. Just start there. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Thanks for all right, I'll be looking forward to that email. Good stuff. All right, when you do OMAD before a vacation example, did you have a calorie target you wanted to hit or just ate? No, I didn't track. Because I track calories for a year, I can kind of look at a food and know, how many calories are in it. Because most of the time I eat a lot of the same foods. So I know that an egg has 70 calories. I know that a slice of cheese, regardless of what it is, generally cheese is a 1 ounce serving is 100 calories. Because I did that for so long, I know how many calories are in a certain food. So I just try to eat a little lower leading up to vacation, but I didn't specifically track my calories. You're great at answering questions. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Should one expect low energy or high energy during intermittent fasting? I experience high energy for the most part. I experience high energy during my fast. Now, some of that may also be the caffeine. I mean, heck, in the course of this video, oh, there it is. I drank a decent amount of coffee. So it may be the caffeine. I haven't quit it. I don't know that I'm going to. I would probably experience crazy headaches then. I personally feel focus and energy during the fast. Do you ever struggle with binging? Even when I have to eat 2,000 calories in one meal, I find myself eating and craving carbs later. Yeah. I would say most of the time it's when I'm bored. I don't know that I have the answer for that. I need to think on it. But to give you a little bit of comfort and let you, it's something that I still struggle with. I still struggle with binging every once in a while. I probably don't do a good enough job of showing those videos because I do the what I eat in a day videos, and I'm probably filming 5 out of my 7 days, sometimes 6 out of 7 days, showing you everything that I eat. Well, probably about once every 2 weeks, I'll binge. And part of that is understanding that sometimes that is my body telling me that I need to eat more. I just try not to let the guilt of doing it keep me off track. I just jump right back on the next day. If I struggled with it day in and day out, at that point, I may try to play around with, all right, what are the things that happen before I binge, and can I affect any of those? Is it stress? Is it anything like that? Or am I eating because I'm legitimately hungry, and can I try to change up the types of foods that I'm eating to have me craving other foods less often? Great question. The amusement park video was really good. Oh, thank you. Again, if you know anyone that works at Disney, please shoot them my info. I haven't eaten today, and I'm making pasta and meatballs tonight. How much should I have? As I do, I'll say this when it comes to food. Again, I'm no expert. I less now than I did before. I try to eat until I'm full. I used to eat until I was sick. So I eat until I don't feel like eating anymore. I eat until I'm good and full. I never leave a meal feeling like I wish I had eaten something more, but I also never leave a meal thinking, man, I am overstuffed. Actually, on the amusement park video, I think when we went to 𝐂𝐿𝐒, for the first time in a while, I ate till I was sick, which I used to do all the time. And fasting has kind of helped me with that because I know I'm going to get to eat good food again tomorrow, so there's no need to eat it all right now. But as far as pasta and meatballs tonight, eat enough that you enjoy it, right? Don't walk away feeling like you wish you had another bite, and don't walk away feeling like you're going to throw up. Find that happy medium and see what works best for you. My bad if I don't break my fast for communion. No. What you call it too? Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. If you feel like you want to take communion, also, it's not breaking your fast. Like you'll be good either way. But no, that doesn't make you bad. Days. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I tried IF during quarantine and lost a bunch of fat. The bad thing is I lost a lot of muscle mass too and had a hard time sleeping. I've had trouble sleeping for a long time. I got some blue light blocking glasses to see if that helps. I don't, for me personally, I don't think intermittent fasting was the culprit. I think I have some bad sleep routines when it comes to that. Again, 2 years in and I haven't started working on my sleep yet. Maybe I'll do that in the future. As far as muscle mass goes, again, because I'm so overweight, meaning percentage of body fat, I'm still probably like 20-something% body fat right now. I haven't been tracking my muscle mass as much. So again, if building muscle is your goal, intermittent fasting may not be the best tool. With that being said, I am maybe not the resource because I don't have enough personal experience with it, but look into some of the channels that talk about intermittent fasting and muscle building. I know Thomas DeLauer goes into that a lot. There may be specific things you can do if muscle building is your goal while fasting. Make sure to get a variety of healthy foods. IF isn't a free pass to eat whatever you want every time you eat. No, absolutely. Again, I don't think that I don't want to use intermittent fasting as an excuse to eat unhealthy. Again, I want to be eating nothing but whole, healthy foods, but I also know that feeling guilt over eating foods that are bad, I don't want that to affect me either. So I think over the course of time, I want to continue to eat healthier and healthier, because when I can do that, I know I'll be able to stick with it for the rest of my life. If I go from eating processed foods to eating nothing but healthy whole foods this week, because I'm going to throw out all the processed foods and I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to buy nothing but healthy whole foods, and I try to do that every day, I'm probably going to get burnt out and I'm going to quit. So I advocate, I want people to eat healthy foods, but I want you to figure out how do you actually do that sustainably. And for me personally, that means a little at a time. So I don't track my protein intake. I just try to eat a lot of protein. I just try to make sure I get enough protein every day. But I don't track it specifically. I just try to eat a lot of meats. And that's really where I get a majority of my protein from, is from meat. And then I'll do protein shakes occasionally. Hey, so I think, man, that was a marathon session. It was an hour and 20 minutes. That is every question that I got. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. And again, if you want to go back, I've got a lot of videos in the back catalog. You can go back, watch through any one of those. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. And I'm going to get this last question, then I'm going to sign off for the day. Thanks again. You count calories. I do not. I did for the first year just so I had an idea, because you do have to eat less calories than you burn in order to lose weight. But thanks again for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Leave a comment on this video, shoot me an email, let me know if you want to do another one of these live Q&As. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.